we will now do the first full look through of the Phoenix as it's arrived. So as mentioned in the unboxing video, the Phoenix comes pre-assembled, but that doesn't mean that you can just put everything in and start racing it. You need to put Loctite, you need to put oils in the shocks, and you really need to kind of disassemble it first and then reassemble it yourself again. But that means that you know that all the parts are there, they're fitting together, and you also know exactly how they're supposed to look and be mounted. So that's a good kind of a way of do quality testing. So what I'm planning to do is just a quick run through of all the parts and the different details that I have noticed. And I bet that once I disassemble the car, I will find a lot of more small details and nuances and kind of design choices. So let's start with the middle here. And first of all, this is kind of a traditional layout, MCD, lossy, and all that. I'm coming from an Ultron that has the engine reversed, so that's a little bit of a different. You have the tank in the rear, but this is what I was used to when I was running the lossy car. So this is a well-tried layout. So you have the center diff here, and well, what you can see here is kind of the brake and throttle lever. So you will have a double arm servo underneath here. You will have a double arm that then pushes the throttle linkage here. At the same time, pull the braking lever down here. So this is nice. They really lowered the center of gravity and put everything down here instead of usually up here somewhere. So put it down here, still accessible and easy to see. And the diff here, what I've heard is that they have new ball cups here. So the same one as I actually had in Ultron, where you have like three balls here. And I really like that, very durable. You never need to change them really. So that's nice. And this piece will be mounted on the engine, of course. And then kind of, you see a long hole here to adjust for the different pinions. You can see the pinion here. I also ordered a smaller or a bigger one, I don't remember. So I have some options there. The spur gear is lengthened, as you can see. And while we're talking about gears, actually something I noticed is on the rear here and in the front, you can see these, I don't know if you can see that on this angle here, but these small gears are actually angled and a little bit curved. So I think you can see that on a Elcon, even on Herman, but I haven't seen that on Lossy MCD or NRP. So that's kind of a flange gear, so I don't remember what it's called, but you will see that better when I disassemble everything. Maybe you can see it here. Yes, better view of the gear, right? What's next? So here you can get this in different configurations. I like to have just a big large scale servo. I used to have two smaller ones in the Ultron, and it has some good and bad. I like to just have one servo, and but you can get this plate for double standard servos instead. And then you have the radio tray here. You can see out there with the cables and holes for mounting the transponder. And then the battery is supposed to go here. There's not really a mount here right now. I'll see where how I will deal with that. So let's continue in the front here. I think these are kind of lossy ones, or they look like them. So maybe I can use the spare ones I have. So that would be nice. As I said before, These ones are engraved with your name. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Conny Svensson here, and then VRmodelsport. Very nice little touch. So this is a C-Hub car. I used to do a pivot ball car at the Ultron, but this is kind of the regular that most cars have, right? So back to that configuration, and that's nice because you can change and play with these different things. What else? It's nice also. This is symmetrical, so you can put left and right is the same one, so you only need to have one in spare. These little things here, you can see you have these kind of stop screws here on each side, plastic bushings in here. Everything is very, very nice. There is no play whatsoever. It's very, very solid. Very nice. It's so, I mean, it's the quality is really top notch on the whole car. Love it, love it. The shocks, I will disassemble them and fill them up with oil. So I will go through them a little bit more in detail. Other than that, the front shocks are pretty long, to be honest. They almost, I measured them with the caliper, and they are almost as long as the rear ones, but not really. And you can see also the front kind of tower. It's not angled too much. It's pretty small angle there. And I can kind of, the way to, with the layout here and how this fits together is a little bit like the Ultron. You have these kind of two ones here, and then this brace goes underneath here. It's almost, and then you have kind of the diff coming out here. And I really like these plastic 3D printed parts because you can get them in different colors, as I mentioned before. And I choose to go with the gray. It's not black here, it looks a bit darker than it is in real life, and the gray goes very nicely with my body because I have some gray tints there. VRmodelsport. And you have this exactly the same one in the back, and I really like that, to have a bumper in the back. That's brilliant, I think. And so for the diffs, you remove this and then you can take this out. And that is also kind of how I'm used to from the Ultron. These ones, they are actually a little bit longer than I've seen before, and I like that. I think it's to hold them up and to make sure that you don't introduce too much. You know, they get worn out. Now you have more plastic in there, so it's a nice little touch. Then you have the same thing here. You have 5 mounting positions here up top, and I think these holes here is for the short course version. That's my guess anyway. But this is really thick, and so I do have an extra spare, but I don't think it's needed actually, because it has very nice support back here as well. So hopefully I will never have to use that spare. Even if you land a lot on the front shock tower, I think it will withhold a lot. So you can have some different Ackerman here, 2 different holes, front and rear, and it's defaulted here in the rear. So you can change and play with that. Let's see if we move around on the other side. I don't know if there's anything much to say here really. Tank is very kind of squarish, simple in its design, but it doesn't need to be fancy. I think this is perfect. So let's move on. Get everything here. So just connect with the engine. You have the long holes here you can see in the chassis for adjusting the engine, and then you have the same thing over here. Now let's go to the rear part of the car. Nothing really to the same design here with screws here. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't mention that on the front because yeah, let's go back to the front. what you can see here, you have some shimming here. So you can change the position of this arm to move it back or forward, and kind of change the wheelbase. The same thing goes back here. You have some of those. Here you can see there's a bunch of them here. So I think in total you could probably change about 1 centimeter. That would be my guess. And then you can also change it back here. Oh, out here, I mean. So yeah, I think if you kind of do the really the end positions on each places, maybe it's more than 1 centimeter or somewhere in between there. And what you can also notice is that you can decide if you want to mount the shocks in front of the shock tower, like it is here, or in the rear position behind the axle here, and then you have to move the upper arm in front, right? So that changes the car's behavior a little bit. I talked to Romain and he said it makes the car a little bit easier to drive, but also not as quick around the corners. So a little bit less turning ability. But that could be an option. Going in the back here, in the rear, as I said, we have the same bumper back here. I really think that's super to can protect from being hit from behind. You have 2 mounting positions here for the shocks in the lower arm. These are really thick. I ordered some different diameters, different strength of the sway bars. Something that two things I noticed on the rear here. First of all, the wing is situated very far up. So, and I guess that's for it to be able to catch a lot of air. So usually the wing kind of goes directly on the shock tower up here or something. This really adds another, I would say like 2 centimeters or something. And you can see that in videos when you see the Phoenix is jumped so well. And I think it might be, part of the equation is that the wing catches a lot of free air. And I also heard from a driver that lost their wing and said that really changed how it behaved. So on other cars, I actually, to be honest, think that the wing is more for looking good. But the wing should add, of course, to the performance. And then the other thing is that the rear shock tower is really narrow, very different from the Ultron or even from MCD or Lossy. So you can see the shocks are really angular a lot, and they are very much covered by the body if you place the body here. So they're very, very kind of secured there, and geometry-wise, it looks very much like a 8-scale car, and that's what I've heard, that they pretty much took an 8-scale car that behaves well and then just kind of scaled it up to 5th scale. So maybe that's the answer of why it behaves so well on the track, and it begs to wonder why nobody else has done that before. That kind of seems like an obvious thing to do, but there's probably reasons for that. So what else? You have 3 mounting positions here, you have 6 mounting positions here. It's kind of your standard way you can see on any 8-scale car, and most of the 5th-scale car as well has that option. Yeah, so what I've been dealing with the Ultron is that I get some, in Sweden we have a lot of gravel and kind of quite not so nice and clean tracks, so get some stones in here. So I think, of course, I built myself a cover, and to be honest, looking down here, there is a hole where you can fit some stones in there. So I'm thinking of maybe 3D printing, designing some of these covers myself with maybe a nice TPR logo or something. I'll see. We'll see. Oh, let's get started, and not, maybe it's not a problem. And then we have the name here, of course, but I also wanted to turn it around again just to show there is a name, my name etched on the bottom plate. This will of course disappear after a while, as with VRmodelsport. You have the skid plate there in the front and in the back as well, so that's nice. Protects also the chassis. In the back, usually they get very much scraped after a while. And you have nice big ones here for the group screws. That's something I can actually show as well. See if that's, you can see it here, I don't know. Let's see if we can see it from here. Yes, you can see some of it here. You see a little bit black metal piece there. That's an insert in the chassis, so the screw doesn't kind of goes down in the aluminum chassis, because that's usually a problem. I had that on my Ultron, so everything, you know, they thought of everything. There is nothing that I see like, I wish they have done it that way, or maybe the only thing, as I said, is missing right now is a nice battery holder here. There are some parts where you can mount it yourself on the side part here. I have some ideas, maybe using these two screws to provide some kind of base plate there, but that's not a big so really looking forward to disassemble this, go through each of the pieces in detail, and really putting all back together and see it become an RST racing car. I will post videos, images. I will do blog posts on House of RC, so you can follow the whole build series and get all the information you need from this beautiful car, which I am so excited to get out and try once the season starts. But right now there's it's minus 10 degrees outside and snow in Sweden, so there's a couple of months before I will hit the track. But so I have a lot of time to really understand this car and make it ready for the season. So see you back in the next one.